We are now just 170 days away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by director J.J. Abrams, that is all set and ready to introduce many different revelations that will lead to saga-wide implications in this story, in this film. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So by far, one of the more interesting aspects of Episode 9 is of course how it's going to have all of these different connections to the prequels and the originals and even Star Wars Legends that's going to be used as inspirational material for this movie. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is the third act. It really seems like it's going to be a very action-packed sequence where there's going to be a lot of twists and turns that will be applied into the story. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really exciting about all of this is that a description of both Rey and Kylo Ren in a confrontation against the Dark Acolyte, who is now taken over by the spirit of Sidious. It said that one of the sequences involves a moment in which Kylo Ren is force-pulled by Sidious, where Sidious is described to keep Kylo in a force freeze, where he gives him a lecture about the origins of the dark side of the Force. Palpatine is said to try and influence Kylo about killing Rey and trying to take him down a darker path. During the lecture, Kylo is said to be holding Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber in his right hand, where faint whispers of Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost are heard, while Kylo is leaning toward the darkness and taking sides with Palpatine. The whispers of Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost are said to free Kylo Ren of this struggle with his emotions, where the voice of Anakin, while holding his saber, and ignites it and begins to still stand and defend Rey while she is helpless. It's described that this scene is made to be poetic, where Anakin indirectly confronts Palpatine by helping his grandson to rid of the dark thoughts and to continue fighting and defending himself. The scene is also said to take place during a torrential rainstorm. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 really is going to show us a lot of different parallels between both Anakin Skywalker and Kylo Ren. And by far, this does remind me of when Anakin Skywalker was being given a lecture by Palpatine in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now we're having the same exact similar experience between both Palpatine and Kylo, where Kylo is beginning to lean toward the darkness. However, this is when the whispers of Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost tune into Kylo's mind, as he is wielding his father's, or should I say his grandfather's, lightsaber, where he begins to hear the whispers of Anakin Skywalker that saves him from the darkness and saves him from those terrible thoughts. So at this point in time, Palpatine is trying to influence Kylo Ren and is trying to pretty much tell and convince Kylo to kill Rey and to really lean toward the dark side of the Force to learn new powers about the origins of the dark side. Now, this also ties directly in with the other leaks that we went over a couple of months ago about the spirit of Sidious trying to take over the body of Kylo Ren. And in order to successfully do so, not a shred of light needs to be seen inside of a Force-sensitive individual that Kylo Ren is now experiencing and has. So Anakin Skywalker, this is a very interesting point, is that it's said to be poetic in a sense, where Anakin indirectly defends Kylo Ren to go up against Palpatine by making Kylo Ren stronger, to believe in himself and to defend himself for what he stands for. So that's a very interesting touch, and I have no doubts here that at least part of this was written by George Lucas, since he did have a great hand in the third act of Episode 9. So what I also like about this is the spirit of Sidious is yet again another thing that is lightly inspired by the Dark Empire comic line, where in that comic line we had the consciousness of Palpatine going into one of his clones. In this scenario, it's entering a different body, a foreign body, if you will, of the Dark Acolyte from the Beyond. Now, what I like about this is that this is Palpatine trying to do the same exact thing that he did to Anakin Skywalker in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin realizes this and tunes in to stop what happened to him many decades ago and doesn't want the same thing to happen for his own grandson. So the whispers of Anakin, it's going to be very interesting to hear exactly, what it's going to be like, with the sound effects and all that. I think that this movie really is going to deliver when it comes to all of the different interactions between these different characters. Now, this is said to take place during a torrential rainstorm, which most likely this indicates that it's actually taking place on board of the Death Star 2 wreckage that we saw in the teaser trailer of The Rise of Skywalker, and in that Vanity Fair photo, you can see that Kylo and Rey are confronting each other during a major rainstorm. So it most likely is the same exact scene without a doubt. Now, as far as Palpatine goes, I cannot wait to see how Ian McDiarmid is going to play the character. It's almost surreal, isn't it? To know that Palpatine and Ian McDiarmid is back in this movie. It's just surreal. Now, is it a desperate attempt by Disney and Lucasfilm? Maybe, maybe not. It's really hard to say. Kathleen Kennedy claims that Palpatine was in the cards ever since The Force Awakens. I don't know about that, but anyways, guys, I'm very excited. Let me know what you think about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.